What's up, guys? It's your boy Fix It Daniel, and today we're going to be talking about what I've been doing lately. We're going to be talking about the parts, the vehicles, and everything. So let us get into it. So guys, thank you so much for watching and being patient and watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have not seen any of the videos I have, please go like and subscribe. They're very good information for just about everything I have on there. Cadillacs, trucks, cars, information, bikes. So please go check it out, like and subscribe, and let me know what you think and share them with your friends. But today, we are going to be talking about what I've been doing lately. It hasn't been a whole lot. It's been about a week total, 7 days since I did my last video. So I can explain to you why. And I think I've done it in a few shorts as well, why I've been doing. So let us get into it. I'm going to try and go in a little more in depth of what I've been doing lately. So let us get into it. Okay, guys, so we've talked about the parts, and we're going to talk about the parts. This is what I've been doing mostly. Actually, this is part of what I've been doing. I haven't got all these inventory like I had hoped. It's just been really crazy. It's been really hard to get this all inventoried. I have inventoried them. I know what some of these are. There's a few down here that I just don't know what goes to. But for the majority of all this and then over there, it's all been inventory. I know what they are and the prices and everything. I just haven't got a chance to go back and take pictures. So yes, so we got all these parts, but I haven't taken a whole lot of pictures of them. So I messed up when I first started, just to reiterate. So when I first did this, I was trying to figure out what the parts were, because a lot of these parts, they didn't give you a whole lot of information of names. I did a whole lot of researching, and then I did some the fabulous Google pictures. Worked 10 times great towards the end. When I first started, I was looking at it, looking at the code numbers, looking at pictures, just diving into the computer, trying to figure out what these parts were. Getting somewhere but nowhere on a lot of the parts. But then a lot of the parts information came up, and I started figuring out what they were. But then towards the end, my wife had showed me Google Pixels pictures, so you can take a picture of the part and they'll tell you what the part is, which worked great because a lot of some of these parts, they didn't have any stamping or nothing, and didn't know what they went to. Fortunately, the Google pictures helped out great. So I did all that, went through trying to get those done, and then think about taking pictures of the parts as I was doing a part at a time, digging. I spent too much time researching and figuring out what they were and putting them in my spreadsheet. Didn't even think about taking pictures. So now I had to go back and take all these pictures of all these parts so I can post them on eBay. I do have a few parts on Amazon, or not Amazon, Facebook Marketplace. I've only sold one item. Actually, sold two items. I had like a 10-inch in-dash Android TV screen for like a car. It was supposed to go into a Honda Civic. The housing that the part was in was supposed to go to a Honda Civic. You could take that stereo out and put it in whatever you wanted. So that's what the guy wanted. He paid me for it. That's gone. My sister bought one of the car seats, black. She paid me. That one's gone. So I've only sold two items out of everything that I have. Two. I've had I think I got over 30, 40 parts, and I've only sold two. And I got one part on eBay, and I got 3 or 4 parts on Facebook Marketplace, and nobody's hitting them. I had someone hitting on this rear shocks, the rear shocks for the Camaro, but no, the guy didn't. The guy backed out, and that's the one. I'm not knocking Facebook Marketplace. There's some places that get really good deals, and I'm a culprit of doing it to myself, so I'm kind of beating myself up as well as beating up other people. It's really hard to sell parts because it's almost like you go into a pick and pull. It's almost like you go into a pick and pull, or you go to a swap meet, or you go to one of those flea markets where you see a part, you pick up the part, you talk to the person about the part, you ask about price, you haggle price. The person who has it says no, but I'll give you this price, and you ghost the person. That is one of the worst things ever, is to ghost somebody when you are in a deal battle, back and forth, telling a person that you want this part, you tell them no, I'll give it to you for this part, or this is my lowest bid. I would try and get the best price I can get for it, or I feel like, if I can give you this, you'll give it to me because you really want it gone, especially when you say must go. I'll give it to you for this. No. Okay, I'll give it to you for this. And they start laughing at you, literally laughing at you. And then you say, fine, but I can really talk all day about Facebook Marketplace. I'm not knocking it. I like going on Facebook Marketplace, finding stuff. They find really good deals. It's just problem of the dealing part. Sometimes people say they're flexible. Some will say, shoot me an offer. Some people say, or best offer. And you give them your offer and they're like, no. I'm like, okay, well, you said best offer, or you say must go, or you say don't need it anymore, have to get it out in a week. You shoot them an offer, and they're like, no. I'm like, okay, well then you must not really need that gone that fast if you really don't want to take what I'm offering you. What I'm offering you is not what you asked for, but it's an offer that you need it gone in a week, but you won't take the price that I'm giving it to you for, probably because it's stupidly low. But nevertheless, sometimes it's actually a pretty good deal. Like, I would take that money and run, especially if you need it gone. Money is money, whether it's $50 or it's $1,000. Money is money. And if you need it gone and you need the money, guess what? You're gonna sell it. So we can talk about that, and you can talk about it all day long. But it's just I don't hate Facebook Marketplace. It's just really hard to haggle with the people, or deal with the people, especially when you're selling stuff, because it's a back and forth battle, and it's really not the part of the back and forth. It is part of the ghosting is what I hate the most. We can haggle and talk about deals all day long. We could talk about the prices, the everything. It's just the ghosting is the suckiest part of the whole entire thing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Dealing with Facebook Marketplace, the suckiest part is waiting for people to get back to you, and then you talk with them, get a deal going. The guy's like, yeah, I'll come pick it up today. Cool, when? Ghost. It's the stressfulest thing ever. So that's why I'm taking all my parts off of Facebook, and I'm going to sell them on eBay. Granted, yes, eBay is not exactly it's the same. It's still a waiting game, but at least one, I'm selling it to a lot bigger crowd of people. So and hopefully people will see it and they'll see the parts that they need. Because I do have generally parts that people do need, but then I realize that people don't buy parts if they don't need parts. But hopefully, I'm hoping that in all the midst of all this, I'll be able to sell some parts and then get people to buy some parts, to get some more, to sell some more. So that's my plan, but I still haven't gotten these out yet because I haven't taken any pictures. So I'm trying to do my due diligence best to take some pictures of these and get them out on eBay, and then wait. So there'll still be parts here, but I'll be waiting. And then if that doesn't work, then I'll figure out the next plan. Maybe try to do some kind of a sale to come over and people can just pick them up. But yep, that's the plan on these, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't been on lately. One, I'm waiting on a part for the bike, and I'll get back on that. I have some ideas for the truck. I have some ideas for the car, for the Vibe. And then I also, this isn't my main job. I'm not a full-blown YouTuber. I do have a 9-to-5 job. So sometimes that takes over. The kids, I have 2 kids. The wife and the kids, they want to go somewhere. It's summertime. The kids are out of school. So there's that, they want to go play. They want to go out for walks. They want to go to the park. We want to go out and do stuff. That's fine. So it takes away from doing some YouTube stuff, which I really don't have much to produce right now. I do have some stuff in the works. It's just trying to get it all lining up. So I do appreciate you guys being patient and waiting, and I appreciate you guys liking the other videos that I have. I've gotten a lot of comments from you guys on all of my older videos that I had. I am sorry that I don't have the Cadillac anymore. I wish I still had it. It was a great car. It was a great experience, and you guys were eating that stuff up, which is great. I'm so glad I could help you guys out. You guys were eating up my wife's Escape, which that car I never thought anybody would ever be like, oh, another Escape. But man, the stuff I did for that Escape, you guys were eating it up as well. And I am super grateful and thankful for that. You guys just don't know what that means. It means that I'm in the right direction of things I'm doing. My channel is not exactly a channel of content creating or content building. I'm not doing project cars, which I would love to do. If I had a bigger garage and some more space, I would love to do a project car. I would love to get into that, but I need to have bigger space to do that. And this can't do it in this garage, because this garage, a car will eat this garage up. So bike projects, that's usually where it's going. Small motor stuff. I'm thinking about doing for some people. If y'all are interested in like small motor stuff, scooters and bikes, that's a little more easier to do in a garage like this, because it's not as big. The bike doesn't take up all the room. Right now it's a little stuffy because I got one bike and a bunch of parts, so it kind of makes the garage a lot smaller, which is one of the reasons why I want to try and hurry get these out so I can get some more parts if it's successful. But yes, there's just a lot of things that I do off camera that that are not YouTube related. So, but will hopefully get back. Like I said, I got something for the bike. We're going to talk about that in a sec. And then I got some stuff I got some ideas for the truck. Not too much. I got a little bit of ideas for the car. And then everything I do is just as it goes along. When I'm fixing stuff that I haven't shown you guys. I may try to do some product reviews, stuff and tools I use that may help you guys out for your cars and stuff, if you have not thought of it or seen it or done it. If you have, then great, but if you haven't, then something that I just recommend that it works for me. So there's a lot of things coming along in the woodworks. It's just got to get all planned out, and getting these parts taken pictures in on eBay will help me figure that out more, because I can organize it a little bit better in here, and then I can just have it sitting and waiting and ready to be shipped. So hopefully this will all work out and in the end. So let's talk about the bike. Okay, so pros and cons on the bike. This bike's done amazingly well. It's probably more pros than cons. So really and honestly, this is a great bike. Probably a lost forgotten bike, because they don't make this bike anymore. This is a 2008. So they got other newer models of SYM bikes. The RV they don't make anymore. I think it's really more the Joy Max or the City Max, and that's what the motor has. The 300 is the valve, and the piston is from a 300 City Max SYM. So good reliable bike. There's so many pros. The belt doesn't break. The belt is super strong. Like, I got one right here. Like, this is the old belt, and as you see how thick this thing is, it is super thick, super dense. There's no way this belt's ever going to break. Now with the 90 cc's or the GY6s, they sometimes tend to break, and this will break eventually. This will break if you don't change it, and if you don't do the normal maintenance due diligence change. This will break, just like any other belt on a car, truck, or whatever. You let it go any long enough and it'll break. But this is really dense, hard, flexible rubber. So the chances of this breaking, like even it's cracking on the inside, and this is still reliable. This was what I was using before I replaced it with the brand new one. And this still has a lot of meat and a lot of life left. So I keep this as a backup, until I can get a brand new one. It does have a little chip in there, but other than that, that's pretty much it. But it's on the back side. Now this could get chipped away by the variator as it's going up and down, but the variator is very smooth. So the only way I can see it chipping away is that it was heated up and stuff like that. But this will just be a good emergency belt. So I would, if you ever have one of these, and there are a couple people that's reached out that have the same color model and everything, if you change your belt, look at your belt. Unless it's completely destroyed, don't get rid of it, because one, these are a little bit pricey. These are about like 30-40 bucks a belt. So they're not as inexpensive as when I went to for the GY6, where I could get 5 for 30-40 bucks. But they were super thin. They were nowhere near as girthy as this thing. So so getting belts after belts is a little pricey. Not something you would want to keep doing, but keep the old one if there's something wrong with it. Unless it's completely destroyed and it's not usable anymore, then keep it. Keep it as a backup on your bike in case you get broken down and it breaks. Because usually when it breaks down, normally it's the belt. Unless there's some kind of mechanically something wrong with your bike, you ran it too hard or kept hitting the rev limiter too many times and you blew it up. That's a little different, but this will probably go before anything else on the bike, and then you get stranded on the road. Trust me, I know. Always have this with you when you go on long travels, because if this belt breaks and you got a spare, you won't be on the road for very long. You'll be on the road just long enough to replace this, and then you're back on the road to get you home or get you to your destination. So definitely keep these belts. The other thing, it's just a great bike. It's big, long bike. It's a little more bigger than your normal scooter. That's why I said it's higher rated. It's a 250 and above. They're super great bikes. I love this bike. It is just awesome. One, because I put it together, I got it back to life, got it running, so I have some kind of a sentimental value into it. So I definitely want to hold on to it as much as I possibly can, enjoy it as much as I possibly can. It's really easy to work on. It's no different than a smaller scooter. It's just bigger scale. Everything's big. The motor's big, the piston's big, everything's big. It's still the same kind of concept, same idea, just a little bit bigger. So that's the great part too. It's very easy to work on. As long as if you've done it the first time, you'll be able to do it the second, third, fourth, fifth. As long as you read the manual. If you need to gap it, make sure you get the gappings right, the specting, and the normal maintenance. You keep it, put the normal maintenance on it, to your riding ability and longevity of riding. Keep that up, and you should be good to go. So that's another thing that's also pretty good. Yeah, there's just so many pros. It's just a great bike. It's easy to work on. The parts. Now let's go ahead and go to the cons. The cons, parts are not exactly the greatest to find on this bike. You can find them on eBay. You can find them if you're a researcher like I am. You could really find some parts. You just gotta dig. Don't go with the first thing you find when you type it in on Google and you just pull it up. You gotta do your due diligence and research, because there are a lot of 250s and 300s out there that are kind of the same, and you can get away with interchanging parts. Like I could easily get a clutch from a 300 Max or something like that. You can interchange parts. So don't be afraid to well, it's not a RV, but it's a Joy Max. Perfectly fine. They're the same as long as it's a 250 300. The bottom end are pretty much the same. Now they can vary in different sizing and stuff like that. Once you probably get bigger, when you maybe like 500 600, they may change just a little bit. But anywhere from a 250 to a 300, they're pretty much the same. The only really difference is the piston and the valves might be a little bit different in sizes. They may be a little bit bigger. But other than that, you pretty much could do interchanging. I'm not saying go buy a clutch off of a old European bike or something like that. Just make sure you check. Make sure they all match before you go and do that. It may be able to be available, if you do that. So if you need a clutch, a belt, or something like that, they're pretty much all the same. Parts wise, like motor and piston, those can be a little bit different. You do have to check your specs on size and the way it looks. Like, look at pictures, look at specs, read some stuff, read the manuals. Make sure you're getting the dimensions correct. If the dimensions are a little off, but it still fits, then you should be fine. But there are some times where it can be just a little bit, it'd be too pretty perfect, but it's just a little bit bigger. So hence, like, I wanted to do this. I wanted to do a 400. The only way I can do a 400 if I get the whole motor. If I try to do the piston and the valve, it looks like it'll fit, but it could be just a little bit too tight. And I still haven't done the research on that, and it's really hard to get the 400 motor. And the interchangeable parts I can get, but the valve is really hard. The piston and the piston housing and the piston and the rings are really easy. I know who to get that from. But the valves are, the valve body is good, but the getting the springs and the clips and the caps and everything like that, that's a little more tricky, because I've looked everywhere except for used. They have them in used, but you gotta get them all cleaned up and redone, and sometimes they're really banged up, they're really dirty, and you gotta tear them all apart and re-put them back together and hope that everything will hold and seal. Getting new one of those is really difficult. A lot of that stuff comes from overseas. A lot of people are not shipping them. So, doing a 300 worked out perfectly. That one's a little more easier to do, but trying to go to a 400 is really tricky. I'm still looking for a motor. I want to do a 400 in this thing, and I think that'll be the pinnacle of this bike. It'll awaken up this bike. It'll give it more power, and it'll be a really rare one of one. It's still a rare one of one because this is a 300, not a 250. But there's really no difference. You looking at it, you would never not know. Power wise, you probably would not know. But just the cool factor is that it's a 300. But really and honestly, there's not much difference. The torque and power will be a little different, because if you look at the specs, it does show that the 300 does give off a little bit more power and torque. But power is kind of a little bit the same. So there's really not much there. You wouldn't notice a difference. It just helps give it a little bit more push. But the 400 would definitely make a big difference. It would definitely be a lot more powerful and a lot more faster, and a lot more. The power would be easier to get there, so that would be the way to go to. So the cons, I've kind of gotten the way off of it. So the con is that, for me, the con is that the bike can't achieve the speed that I want, but I have to do a lot of modding to get it that way, which I did the same thing on the GY6. So that's not a big deal, but that's a con, because if I can't get it to work, then I'm pretty much stuck. Getting the motor, getting parts is very difficult. That's the con. You really have to do your research if you really are trying to mod this bike up, because especially if you have this one this year, it's really hard to find parts for this bike. It's not that you can't, it's just really difficult. A lot of the parts are overseas, and there's a lot of companies that will not ship it to you no matter what. Now, if you have some other way of getting something from overseas to like a different location, like a warehouse or a business, you might be lucky in that part. I don't have that ability. I don't have a business I can just send parts to and just pick it up. And I don't know if they even would still send it, because they even say on the thing they will not ship it to the US. So it just kind of sucks. This is kind of, I would say, more of an Asian European kind of bike. They have that all over the place over there, because bikes over there are pretty common than cars. So they gotta have the parts. They gotta have all that stuff for all those bikes. So if I had this over there, I could just do just about whatever I wanted to this bike, and it would be perfectly fine. But over here, it's really difficult to get parts. But just keep that in mind when you're trying to do modding stuff. So one of the other things is not that much. The only other thing I could say is it still feels kind of small to me, because I'm a 6'2", 270-pound guy. So it's a little bit still feels small, but it's way more better than the 50cc by far. I don't feel like I'm like a bear riding a tricycle. But it's still not my sizable kind of thing. So I had thought of trading this bike in for another bike, and it's kind of in my head to do so, just because I've gone as far as I can go on this bike, and this bike is great and unique and sentimental in some ways, but I would part it out for another bike that I really truly wanted. There's two version of Dream bikes that I would love to have. If I ever got one of those, I would definitely trade this in for it, and I would be totally happy with it. Um, because I've ridden bigger bikes before. I've ridden 600 Gixxers and 1000cc bikes, so those bikes are quick and fast. But I'm not concerned about the power and speed. I mean, yes, that's great to have because you know that you got the power to go just about anywhere, which is the reason why I would like to get a bigger bike. It's because I know confidently that I could take a 600 Gixxer 1000cc bike anywhere I want to go and it would do it effortlessly without any issues and worry. This one, I'm a little worried about doing that because yes, this bike was made to do that, but I feel like with my extra weight and the strenuous that the bike gets put on, it could. I'm worried about taking it that far and back. Um, half and half. I'm confident I think it'll make it, but I'm a little worried that if something breaks down, and I think with like motorcycles, like genuinely motorcycles, bigger motorcycles that are actually got power and stuff like that, the ingenuity of that is a lot better. It's reliable. You know that you're going to make it to your destination and back tenfold. This one is a little different because it's kind of like a scooter, like it's kind of like a street scooter, but it's a motorcycle as well. So it's a scooter and motorcycle, and it can make it to your destination. It just may not make it in that faster fashion that a normal traditional bike you see on the road all the time will do. You see all the Harleys and the Gull Wings and the sport bikes. They can go to Timbuktu and back without any problems. This one, I would be concerned. I have to bring tools and parts with me just to make sure I don't be on the side of the road or walking it 10,000 miles home, or having to call a tow truck to bring me home because my belt broke and I didn't bring another one with me. You don't have that problem on the bigger bikes. They're all chain driven or even belt driven or gear driven, and they're reliable, and you know that you can make it unless you're doing something stupidly crazy on the bike. You're going to make it to your destination and back without any problems. So that's one of the reasons why I would like to see if I could find me another bike. I would like to keep this one. I like to keep this one and still get another bike, but I don't know if that's possible. But if I ever found my dream bike, I would definitely trade this in for my dream bike. It does have sentimental value because of the building of putting all the heart, the blood, sweat, and tears into it, and the heart into it to get it to where it is, and you guys liking it. I would feel really bad to let it go, but if I got a deal on a dream bike that I've always wanted, I would let it go. That's just the way it is. I've always wanted um, this particular bike, which is basically a ZXR14. I've always wanted a ZXR14. Had a close call deal with a ZXR14, but the timing to selling this bike, I just kind of got it finished built. I think it was right at the time that I just got the 250 in it and running, and I saw my ZXR14 that guy was selling at a craziest deal. But in the time to sell the bike, to finish the bike, sell the bike, and get that bike, it would have been too long. Even though the guy was willing to work with me and bring it to me and give him half the money, and it just wasn't a good deal. I don't like doing that. I don't like doing half deals. I want the whole deal. Me give you the money, you give me the title and the bike and the keys, and I'm gone, or not at all, because there's so many loopholes and there's so many miscellaneouses in that where you get the bike and the keys, but he's got the title. And something can happen where, hey, you stole my bike, or he dies and he lost it, or something happens, he moves away and he doesn't have the. It's just so much headache to go with. So as much as I appreciate him trying to get me to get the bike, I just couldn't do that deal. That deal is just, I've done that deal before, and it's gone south and sour bad. So for me, I always would say, if you're gonna get a bike, don't buy a bike with no title. I cannot stress that very much, and there's a reason why. So, and I'll explain it to you. So, if it was me, if you're gonna get a bike, scooter, whatever, if it has a registration or if it has a title, make sure you have a title. Too many people go online. Facebook Marketplace is terrible for this. A lot of people sell their bikes. Some people buy bikes from like auction sales or salvage yards, or someone had it from them time and they didn't have a title, but they wanted the bike, so they paid the guy money for the bike and they got the bike. Guy knows how they get it registered without a title. I'm not even going to go down that road. So I've had in the same situation with a scooter, highway rated scooter bike. I want it. Guy had it for $700. Perfect. Needed some TLC. Fine. I was willing to take on that challenge, but he didn't have the title. It was his brother's bike. So he tried getting the title. He lost the title. Looking for the title. Oh, you can go to the DMV and get a register renew title. Nope. You need information. You need to figure out who had it last and why did they not have a title, and get them to give you a letter so you can get a title. Doesn't work. It's hard as crap to do. And really, honestly, the buyer should not have to go do what the seller should be doing, because you only can go so far, because that's not your bike. You don't know who owns what. That guy does. Let him go chase it. But he can't find it either, or he can't get in contact with the people that he owns. It's just too much headache, too much time gone by so far, and then all of a sudden the person gives up. I'm not looking for it anymore. I'm tired of looking for this. Okay, so I want to buy this bike, but you're not willing to help me to get the bike because you have to go get the title. I can only go but so far. The DMV won't let me just get, all that stuff. So I tried going looking all around, trying to figure a way of getting around it to go get a title and stuff like that. It's just no go. There's some idea. Someone said you can go to Vermont and register your bike in Vermont, and then you can get some 30-day tags, or once you get that, then you can, even though you're not living in Vermont, you can get your bike registered in Vermont, and then that'll give you a sheet, and then you can go to DMV and get a title that way. It can. I've looked at it and done research for it. It does work that way, but it's a lot of money and a lot of time, and you have to drive to Vermont. Not doing it. Not doing it. So it's just better to when you're getting a bike, you're getting a brand new bike or a used bike or whatever. If someone's selling it to you, the first thing you should ask is, do you have a clean title? And do you have the title? And if they say, yes, I got a clean title and I got all that, then that's the bike. That's a good deal for a bike. But if you look on Facebook Marketplace, or you go to someone selling and they say, oh, I have the bike and the keys, but I don't have a title, walk away. Literally walk away. Unless you know how to wheel and deal in that kind of realm of getting a title out of nothing, or the person actually gives you a bill of sale and it's actually a legit title that comes after that, then yes, that's fine. But if the person that's messaging you says they don't have a title, you have to go and research and find that title, or you have to get them to go find the person that they bought it from to get them the title. And that's a lot of headache and time and a lot of work, unless it's something that you really, 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 really want. And it's just, I'm willing to take that. If you're willing to go through all those hoops, then fine. If you're willing to go through the hoops, then go through the hoops. But if you're not willing to go through the hoops, don't go through the hoops. Just go to someone else who has a title in hand, clean title, no liens, and they got keys and all that stuff, and then you should be fine. That's just my 2 cents. You guys can do whatever you feel like is right in your mind, but in my mind, in my dealings, I'm not dealing with anybody who does not have a clean title or title in general. That just makes life so much easier, You can do your transaction. You like the bike, you pay for the bike, the guy signs over the title to you for the bike. You got the bike, keys, title. Boom. Deal is done. Have a nice day. Go get it registered in your name. Now the bike's yours. That's how I like doing it. Nice and smooth. No headaches. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is for the bike. We still have a few more items to do for it. There's still a few more things I would like to do for it. Some ideas and some servicing. There's some servicing we need to do. We need to get a new inspection sticker. I want to check the brakes, do some servicing, do its due diligence to make the bike 100% perfect. But in hindsight, this bike is ready to roll. Turnkey, start, ride, and enjoy. And that's what I've been doing lately. Every time I get a chance, I take the bike out, run it through its paces. I think it's due for an oil change soon because I didn't keep track of the oil. It's supposed to be changed every 1,000 miles. And I've taken oil out, put oil in. So I kind of really haven't kept up on when I was supposed to change it. So I'll probably just do a fresh change, jot down how many miles it is, and then the next miles I'll do it the right way. So yep, that's pretty much it for the bike. So we'll talk about the cars. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the cars. So we're gonna start with the truck. Truck's running really good. I feel bad not having any videos to do because I've gotten kind of spoiled having the truck, because when I had the Cadillac, I was working on it constantly. And that was one of the other problems was having was, yes, it was my everyday car, so I'm fixing a car that's my daily that has issues. Just fixing it and putting wear and tear on it is just not a good hand in hand, because you really can't get anything fixed if you're driving it every single day. So having a truck that does not have a whole lot of maintenance issues is quite nice. But it also gives me time to figure out parts and stuff that I need to get and not have to stress it, and actually show you guys. Like, you guys have loved the door jamb wiring thing. That was, I'm thankful for that. And I'm really happy that you guys have liked that. No one's watched the digital the dash thing, but you guys check that out. That was a really cool hack trick that I did that will save you hundreds of dollars. So if you have not seen the instrument cluster fix, if you ever have that issue, check my video out, because that will probably save you some money if that's what your issue is, because I had a hard time trying to get that taken care of. Dealerships wouldn't help me, and it was going to cost me a lot of money to take the dash out, and I had to mail it. So I'd basically be driving my truck with no dash, no gauges, no nothing until they fixed it. I fixed it myself for nothing. So definitely check that video out. Even if you don't have an issue, if someone in your family, a friend, coworker, or even at your job, if a customer comes in with that issue, you need to watch that video, because I think that will help you out, save you time and money, and get that truck out rolling. But for the most part, the truck's running. For the most part, there's nothing wrong with the truck. Everything's running really good. The last thing I did was the oil pan gasket, which was a really good fix, because mine's a 2-wheel drive instead of a 4-wheel drive. So that saved a lot of people a lot of issues. I've even had a guy comment me on the oil pan, because there was no videos out there for a 2-wheel drive F-150 oil pan fix. It's always 4-wheel drive, and you have to unbolt and drop the 4-wheel drive front differential to get to them. Mine doesn't do that because I don't have 4-wheel drive. I have 2-wheel drive. So it was really easy. The only thing I had to do was to drop the little crossbar. I didn't even have to mess with the swing arm linkage. Everything was, once you drop that crossbar, and then you had room. It was pretty much simple. Take off some bolts, move some stuff around, so you can get to all the bolts. Easy peasy. And I haven't had a leak since. So that was a good hack to fix. There's a couple more cosmetic stuff I need to do. Like, I'm gonna probably get some really not custom, but just really custom fitted seat covers to cover over the front and passenger seats. So the front passenger seats have tears, More on the passenger side has a tear. It had a bigger tail, but now it tore more because we've gone to the water park and beaches, and the seat got kind of wet, and it kind of just ripped it over time, and it ripped it out a lot. Um, Driver side is perfectly fine, but I want to get some nice custom fitted seat covers that almost like slide over to take up the wear and tear on the seats. I would love to replace them with like the factory way, just undo those old ones and replace them with the new ones. That would be great. But I found some really good fitted custom seat covers that'll actually snug over, and they actually look like you've got custom seats in there. They're really fit nice and tight, and they contour to the seats, to the old seats, front and back. So that's in the works. I'm thinking about getting some of those. I got an idea on some window tint that I should do myself. I got some ideas on that. Um, I'm thinking about doing a roar pedal for the truck. Not for like I did in the Cadillac for speed and performance, but morely just taking away the lag, um, and getting a better performance out of the truck when it comes to hauling or just regular driving as well. So I'm thinking about doing a video on that. So stay tuned for that because I'm talking to Roar Pedal about that, and I haven't heard from them yet. But if not, I'll still do my due diligence, buy it, review it, and show it to you guys. Um, and then I'm thinking about doing a stereo system in the truck, not like subwoofers or anything like that. Just basically replacing the main stereo console with something a little more cooler, something a little more modern. The Microsoft Sync is cool, but the Microsoft Sync is dated. It's it's pretty old technology, but it works perfectly fine. But sometimes it kicks the phone off and on, and sometimes it doesn't sync right away. You have to sync it a couple of times. Mine does. I don't know about anybody else's, but when I put my phone in and it doesn't sometimes recognize it, I have to go to my phone, hit Bluetooth, then it syncs. Then I have to go through the sync. So you try and do that while you're driving is a pain in the butt. You got to pull over and make sure that you can get it right and then take off. It's a pain in the butt. So I'm thinking about upgrading it to a more modern stereo, possibly a smart stereo, with all the sync and Apple CarPlay and stuff like that. I got a good idea on one that I don't think I've seen anybody put one in. So it's been put in, but no one's really talked about it. They just put them in and just be done with it. So that will be something I'll be doing soon. Other than that, with the truck, there isn't too much more. It needs new brakes all the way. And I want to replace the brake pads and rotors because they're kind of squeaking. They still stop like perfectly fine. They're just making a little squeaky noise due to the moisture. It's been raining. It's been raining a lot lately, so the moisture kind of caused the brakes to kind of rust a little faster. And they're probably getting worn a little bit too. Those are the original brakes I had when I bought the truck, and they were squeaking even then. But then they went away, came back, went away, came back. So I think I'm just going to replace them with some better stopping brakes, and that would be pretty good for that truck because that truck's pretty big. Last thing you want is some really weak brakes stopping that. So other than that, that's pretty much it for the truck. I do have some ideas, like I did on the Cadillac, um, preferably with the grill. Maybe if you see what I'm talking about. I have some ideas with the grill, like I did with the Cadillac. I've gotten my butt reamed for the installation from the Cadillac, which it's okay. My first time doing it, things happen. I was happy with the product, so that matters much to me. It doesn't have to be, no one really sees it, so oh well. But the result looks cool, but up close looked like crap. I could have done a little better job. I will probably do it next time, but I gotta do more research on it, fit it, and try it out and see if that actually would work. It looks like it may work, but I have to get another set of lights to kind of to conclude it, to get it all the way around to make sure that it will actually work. And then if it does, I'll show it to you guys for sure. It was a really cool thing. You guys seem to like it, so I'm gonna try to do it on this truck. At first I didn't think it was gonna work, but then looking at it and like taking the other one and putting it up there, it actually looks like it actually might work. So just got to make sure the illumination part will be very visible, and that's what the issue is going there. But that's it for the truck. As far as the Vibe, the Pontiac Vibe, Yet again, I'm sorry for that video on the motor mount. So it was just really difficult and really hard to do. But I the only thing really left on the Vibe is just a couple of cosmetic stuff. Basically more tuning. I'm gonna spark plugs need to replace the air filter, need to replace the battery. Some the belt might need to be replaced. I am going to do a video soon on doing the transmission chains because I got transmission fluid, gaskets. I just need to get the oil, and I can do a video on that. So that'll be coming soon. If you guys don't know how to change your own transmission fluid and filter, I'm going to come up soon with that. That car, I'm also going to be doing a window tint myself. I'm doing some more research into the company about doing your own window tint. So I'll probably be doing that. And then that one needs a stereo system in it too. Probably a CarPlay, an Android CarPlay stereo. So we're doing a few videos coming up. But and then for the most part, it's really much that's pretty much it. A lot of everything I do is more fixing stuff and maybe redoing it in a faster, cooler way. But yes, eventually I would like to do some builds. Once I get really into establishing area where I can start doing more builds. Bikes and small motors, that would probably be the direction to go for right now. I don't really know for sure. I'm still trying to figure out what would be the next move to elevate myself and my channel. So, but for right now, teaching and showing you guys something cool is the way to go. I really enjoy doing it. You guys seem to like it a lot and helping you guys out in every way I can. If you guys got questions about cars, please let me know. I'm pretty knowledgeable with cars. I'm a researcher, so I can always look up stuff. People ask me all the time, hey, how do you replace this? I send them the link, appreciate it, cool. So I do that part as well. I'm gonna do something different too. Every time I see a cool product that I use or a tool, that I think that you guys would like and maybe go into the depths, I'm gonna help you guys out with that. I'm gonna do that on the shorts. Just something cool on the side to do. If I think it worked really cool on the bike or the car, I'm gonna show it to you guys to use. Recommend, not use. Just recommend what I think was pretty cool. It may work for you, may not work for you. You may already used it already, and that's cool too. But that's pretty much it. Just trying to show you guys some cool stuff and give you guys some cool information. I'm all about helping. So that's where my passion is helping people and fixing cool stuff and showing you some cool fixes on the way as well. So yes, guys, we've talked about the bike, we've talked about the cars, we talked about the parts. As you see, we got parts everywhere. We got a throttle body for an F250. We got some truck hubs there for, I think it's for a Chevy Silverado and a Cadillac or a GMC truck. I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff, guys. I mean, this right here, this is a side steps for a Honda CRV, new model CRV. We got a intercooler for a Buick Enclave. Those back there, these CV axles, those goes on a BMW. Air, radiator fan for a Lincoln Town Car Grand Marquis Crown Vic. The radiator is back there with it. These are roof racks for a BMW X5. Window regulator. An oil pan. A timing cover for a RAV4. This is pretty cool. This is a timing cover for a RAV4. This is right here. This is super cool. These are upper ball joints for a '67 Chevy Camaro. It's supposed to come in a big, huge piece, but they only came with just the uppers. So I guess they didn't fit or they didn't like them. So there's a bunch of cool products here and stuff. It's just everywhere. that I really want to share and give to you, sell it to people because they need parts. Everybody needs parts. Parts is what you need to keep your older model vehicles running, save you on, the long run if you do it yourself or, hire someone to do it. So shops, they need parts, people need parts, and that's what I want to do. I want to give parts to people and sell them so that way they can get what they need fixed. But I understand that people don't need parts unless they need parts. So yeah, it's just a really cool thing. This right here too is a rear shocks for the Camaro, a new model Camaro. Just a bunch of cool parts. So yeah, guys, I know it's probably lengthy and boring, but I just want to just explain to you guys what I've been doing lately, what I've been doing for the past week. I do need to take pictures of, like I said, I need to take pictures of all these parts. The weather's been hot too. In this garage is really hot. It's not as bad now because it's been raining for weeks and it's kind of cool, but it's still a little warm. But it's sensible enough to start taking pictures, which is what I'm going to be doing soon. Like I said, the bike is cool. I have some stuff coming up for it that's I'm super happy with, that I've been working with a company, and I'll talk to you. I've talked to them about them before, but I will bring them up again for people who have this kind of bike. If they want to know where I get my parts from, I'm going to explain it to you, or you can go down the link and ask me, and I'll tell you who it's from. But we will bring their name up again, and they have been really super helpful, and I'm really thankful for that. Stuff on the car is coming. Just taking a little bit of time getting it all together. It's not really going to take too much longer, but just trying to plan it out and what I need to do to get it all done swiftly, and then just kind of go from there. So that's pretty much what we've been doing. So I just wanted to give you a recap. I just wanted to give you an update, mainly an update of what I've been doing and what's going on. And I am coming back with some more stuff, some more videos. So just you guys wait. And you guys will be seeing it coming up pretty soon. So guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a good and blessed day, and I'm gonna see you on the next fix. Until then, peace.